Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session based on the idea of temptations that can take us off course. And it uses a metaphor taken from, I think it's the book, The Odyssey, and it features the lead hero, Odysseus, who is returning back from a quest, knowing that he will sail past the mythical creatures of the Sirens. And the Sirens were meant to be almost kind of like mermaid type of creatures. This idea of beautiful women on the rocks that would have music and songs that would lure the sailors towards the rocks. They would then crash the ship into the rocks, and then they would eat the bodies. You know, quite a gruesome story. But the metaphor of the Sirens is that they were the archetype of the temptress, very tempting things that were irresistible. And we live in a dopamine-filled world where there is no shortage of things that can give us a boost of immediate gratification. And for some people, that might be social media or TV. For other people, it might be porn or movies. And for other people, it might be substances like alcohol or psychoactives. But these things have, never been so widely available. We're in a world where whatever you want, you can get it all of the time. And therefore, if you are a person on a mission with things that are really important, these distractions could be more sinister than you think, because if it steals your time, your focus, and your energy, and it means that you're not able to be the version of you that you want to be and to accomplish what you want to accomplish, then these are just as destructive as the Greek myths of the Sirens leading you to kind of crash. This was created for a client that was a person in business, was very driven, very motivated, had a purpose-driven mission to really impact the world, and yet would find certain things would take him off course. So it does use a lake house that he could relate to, where he would feel relaxed, and then almost creates this metaphor of a Greek battleship that comes from this lake and goes past the kind of the Sirens. I would encourage you to get the best out of this session to think about, what is your quest in life? What is your purpose or mission in life? And what are the equivalents of the Sirens in your life? What's the thing that steals your energy, focus, or time, or changes your emotional state too easily? And that might be something that you can think of as the Sirens when you're listening to this particular hypnosis session. If you're struggling with, and it could be something like procrastination, or it could be focus, or it could be you don't feel like you're tapping into your full potential. But if there's something like that and you want to explore working with me directly, then click the link in the show notes to book a free 30-minute consultation call, or check out my website, adamcox.co.uk. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of stress and tension, any worries, to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice how it slows down. You breathe in deeper, you breathe out deeper. And as you breathe out, feel the tension melt away. Feel it leaving your body in that outward breath. And then breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourceful relaxation, taking you to that place in your mind where change happens. And you've been to that place many times. Big decisions, resolutions that lasted a lifetime. You know how to get to that place. I want you to, as you breathe in and breathe out, give permission to do more than just relax, to completely let go. And maybe you feel your chest, your diaphragm rising and falling, almost like the waves on a lake. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine perhaps sitting on a chair on an old dock close to a lake house and looking out over a beautiful lake, picturesque countryside. Imagine your body sat in that chair, feeling the weight of your arms and your legs, feeling limp and loose. As you look out onto the lake, focus on the sounds of nature. Maybe the sounds of bugs, crickets, the subtle chirps, the noise of birds. Not just the birds that tweet, but also the sound of birds flapping their wings. If you really try hard, you can notice there may be sounds of frogs, maybe chickens, maybe a dog in the distance. Breathe in and breathe out and notice how relaxed you feel staring into the lake. And maybe you can notice the dark purple reflection on the surface of the water, reflecting the slightly overcast clouds. Notice how easy it is to switch from focusing on a tiny point on the surface of the lake to then zoom out with this expansive view. And notice how very still the lake has become, reflecting the stillness of your mind as you become deeper and deeper relaxed. Maybe there's a coolness in the air, dry, subtle feeling of the air on your skin. But I want you to imagine something strange is happening, because this, after all, is just your imagination. Imagine on this still lake, a Greek battleship from hundreds and hundreds of years ago is arriving at your dock. And you can see the sailors on this ship dressed in the kind of clothes of ancient Greece. And as you board the ship, notice that your clothes also change to that of a Greek hero. I want you to think of some of the Greek heroes of the past, the heroes of myths and legends. And maybe you've heard names like Odysseus, or by his Roman name, Ulysses. And as you encounter the boat, maybe there is a vague recollection of a myth where Odysseus was on his way home to Ithaca after the Trojan War. And on his way, he had to pass the Sirens, dangerous but beautiful creatures who lured sailors with their enchanting music and singing voices, leading the sailors to shipwreck on the rocky coast of their island. Odysseus' quest was to return home to his wife and his son after the fall of Troy. His journey wasn't quick, taking 10 years, during which there were numerous trials and tribulations. But Odysseus was a smart man, determined to return to his wife and son. So, to safely pass by the Sirens without succumbing to their song and temptations, Odysseus instructed his crew to plug their ears with beeswax. Imagine being on that boat, and imagine that you are Odysseus, surrounded by crew with beeswax in their ears. And imagine asking your crew to tie yourself to the mast of the ship and to ignore any of his pleas to be released, meaning that you could imagine sailing past the Sirens, hearing their song, hearing their music, but knowing you're not going to drift into the shipwrecking capabilities of those rocks. I want you to feel that this strategy allowed Odysseus to escape the peril, the temptation of the Sirens' call. And I want you to reflect on what your quest is in life. What is the ultimate quest in your business? What is the ultimate quest in your family, in your relationship? And start to think as to what the Sirens are in your life. Beautiful, tempting things that could steer you into the dangerous rocks, stealing your time and attention away from what matters most. So imagine being on that Greek warship, feeling like a hero in your own story, navigating towards your quest. As you open your mind to powerful suggestions that could enable you to remain steadfast in your focus, to see distractions as waves that you skillfully navigate, keeping your journey towards what you really desire steady and true. And I wonder what would happen if each moment of procrastination is recognized as a siren's call, and you can choose to sail past, committed to your greater mission. You already know that you find strength in your purpose, and this strength effortlessly diminishes the allure of immediate gratification from any form of escapism. Feel how good it feels when your resolve is unbreakable. Any temptations, including porn, become a distant echo, overshadowed by the clarity of your goals. It doesn't take long before you're able to take huge pride in your self-control, finding deep satisfaction in productivity and progress over any fleeting pleasures. The idea of procrastination becomes less appealing as you are filled with the excitement of taking action and making a tangible difference. Imagine being on that ship with laser beams coming from your eyes as you feel what it feels like to be laser focused, knowing that you are immune to the seductive pull of escapism, because the reality that you are creating is vibrant and more fulfilling. As the days pass, each day, you celebrate the pride of a clear mind, free from any influence of psychoactive substances, reveling in your natural state of high achievement. This high achievement eclipses any other highs as you radiate confidence and pride, knowing that you do not need any external substances to enhance your already powerful capabilities. You inherently know that you don't need distractions to feel fulfilled. Your hard work and laser focus are the true architects of your satisfaction. Each and every time you resist temptation, you reinforce the knowledge that you simply don't need it, building a fortress of resolve in your quest to be your very best self. Think of porn as the sirens on the rocks. To the ancient sailors, they had the perception of beauty, but were actually dangerous creatures that could destroy whoever moved towards them. Every temptation you bypass is a victory, a step towards becoming the best version of yourself in work and in relationships. In so many areas of your life, you became more competent and stronger over time. So imagine with each act of resistance against distraction, feel that you're becoming stronger, more disciplined, a more goal-orientated person that will send you on your course to have an impact in the world. And notice that every decision to remain steadfast in your work and on your mission means that any guilt and shame of the past is converted into feelings of pride, accomplishment, that you are becoming the hero you always knew you were meant to be. Because your laser focus is your superpower. You take pride in your ability to concentrate on what truly matters, making any other enticements unnecessary. Breathe in and breathe out and feel that you've already passed the sirens on the rocks, heading towards your quest, your mission, recognizing that the best version of yourself emerges with hard work and dedication, making the idea of escaping into distractions less and less needed. As you breathe in and breathe out, you realize that any psychoactive substances of the past was a coping strategy you simply didn't need. That you get your real high from the real achievements, real moments of connection, overcoming adversity, solving problems. Those give you the real highs in your life. I want you to imagine you're navigating towards your future, and imagine that future in detail. What it would mean to impact so many people. There is so much negativity in the world, and imagine you are contributing to turning the tide, to enabling people to have more inspiration, positivity. Perhaps you can recall the famous quote by Gandhi, to be the change you want to see in the world. So in your pursuit to avoid escapism and gratification, on your quest to become your very best self, you feel the joy that comes from walking your talk and being the very change you want to see more of in the world. That self-improvement is your improvement. That positivity is your choice. That inspiration is who you are, not what you do. As you picture that future, see the incredible impact you've had on the world, and imagine that you may never have got there if you fell for the temptation of the sirens calling you with their music, their voices. The thought of just one will be okay is the very trap that sends you into the grasp of the sirens. And every time you remain laser focused on your goals, every time you say no to a distraction, you're simultaneously saying yes to becoming a more impactful, committed, and connected individual. As the ancient Greek ship arrives at the dock, you realize you've come full circle, going back on the very dock that you boarded. And yet everything's changed. You boarded the boat as someone that would be easily tempted to give up on their dreams for temporary distraction. Now you have unleashed the hero within that was always there, able to stay focused on your dreams and your goals, no matter the temptation. Imagine walking down the dock, still hearing the sounds of nature around you, but feel that it's time to return back to your present, your reality, but taking all these changes with you. As you breathe in and breathe out, realize this was a story within a story. It was an idea within an idea. A dream within a dream that enables you to return right back to the present. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it. Returning to the present. As very shortly I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling laser focused, proud, confident, resilient, and determined to have the impact on the world that you were always meant to, and smiling when you see temptations, knowing that the sirens have no power over you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.